Hey, it's Sandra. Welcome to another episode of Asexualise, my sexual life. This is a place to be for education about asexuality. So subscribe and hit the bell icon right now. So, have you ever been through a really difficult breakup or dating and relationship, heartache, heartbreak, and pain? Have you ever felt like the rug was pulled from underneath your feet? Or have you ever felt like you've got a ball of wool that's just unraveling really quickly and that's your life and you feel totally out of control? Have you ever just been so sad after a dating experience just turned out to be an absolute disaster? And have you felt like really disheartened and you've lost confidence altogether in dating, relationships, and maybe even yourself? So, if you feel that you've lost confidence in yourself, especially after a dating heartache and pain or a relationship breakup, this video is definitely for you. So, first of all, we have to understand that when we have relationships or a relationship that goes wrong, there can be a different uh, outcomes from this. But if the relationship ended badly, if there was lying and deceit in some ways, gaslighting, manipulation, control, of shut down conversations when your needs you're expressing in the correct way and the person just doesn't want to know them, a lack of understanding, when you've had really difficult relationship and the way it ended was really badly, or you've been on a date or several dates and just none of them go anywhere, and maybe the last date ghosted you and you're like, what the hell did I do wrong? If you've gone through any of this, then I really understand how you may feel like you lack in confidence. Now, I've been through a very difficult relationship breakup. It's been over 6 weeks now. This is like the 7th week I'm in. And I have to say that things really dramatically turned round in my favor last week on the 6th week. And so, what have I been doing to increase my confidence from feeling, you know, outside of that relationship? When the breakup happened, I felt so low and I was so upset. And I didn't realize till time's gone on how much in that relationship I actually lost a lot of self confidence, not in certain areas, like still was confident coming on my channel, but I lacked self confidence in and of myself in some ways. And my self esteem went down quite a lot. My self worth, those are the type of things that were going down and went down. And I didn't actually realize all this until I came out of the relationship, how badly this relationship, the last relationship, the breakup I've gone through in the recent weeks, I didn't realize what a bad effect it was having on me, what a detrimental effect it's had both not just on my mental health and physical health, but actually like my self-confidence, and some of those things I think can be very difficult to get back. Now, there was lies and manipulation involved, and that was on his part, not me, and deception. He gave me a false sense of hope and a false sense of security, which is one of the worst things you can do to someone. If you express your needs and you're stating directly what you want, and the person's saying, that everything's going to be okay, and they're reassuring you, and they're saying that they are happy you told them your needs and what they're going to do to put the situation right, improve the relationship, and then they just do the opposite, it's really not good and basically revealing the deception. So, what happens usually in scenarios like this is we automatically think there's something wrong with us. And that's kind of what I was thinking with me. There must be something, like I must be to blame for this. But when I've joined Matthew Hussey's Love Life Club, so this is Matthew Hussey's Love Life book, which is absolutely incredible, right? This book has really helped me to start getting my confidence back. But his Love Life actual club I've joined is really sensational. That's really what's driven my confidence to come back. So I've realized that his behaviors is not a reflection of my worth. Now, I probably knew this before, but because my self-esteem's been quite low, I haven't obviously trusted myself as much. I've been very disconnected from myself. So this has caused me to like not be in touch with my own logical thinking, my own logical reasoning, my own way of just knowing these things with inner wisdom over the dating and relationships I've had, you know? Like, I'm sure I've told you on this channel before that someone else's bad behavior is not a reflection of your self-worth. And if I haven't said that, I'm saying it to you now. So, coming to terms with the fact of the behavior and what's happened, I now understand, which is helping me to increase my confidence again, that his behavior is no reflection of my self-worth, even though he tried to blame his bad behavior or my anxiety and other things. That is not actually the truth, right? You can't say something to someone and have bad behavior yet blame it on the other person. This is not good behavior. And I realize now that the way he treated me is all about the low standards he has for the way he treats other people. I do not treat people the way he treated me. I do not lie. I do not deceive. I am kind. I am caring. I am loving. I'm generous with my time. I am all those beautiful qualities. The ones that in the end he clearly wasn't interested in. It's interesting though, because like I said on an earlier video episode, he did actually say he was with me for my kind and caring nature. So before, when I first got out of the relationship, I was focusing a lot on the negative things that he was saying about me. But when I look back and focus on, particularly towards the end, when he said about my kind and caring nature and that he was happy that I was telling him my needs because that's really good for our relationship, I listened to those things. And I'm like, hang on a minute. That does actually contradict some of the things that you were trying to say about being, you know, you were trying to say negative and critical about me. And if I actually listen to those positive things, which are totally true, I am kind and I am caring. And I have got this kind and caring nature about me. So if he chose to lie and deceive me, who's got a kind and caring nature, that's on him. That's not on me. So I've now been able to separate my self-worth from his behavior and actions towards me. I've able to see that the way he treated me was the low standard that he has for treating other people. Now, you could say, well, it's just you he treated that way. If it's just me he treated that way and I was in a relationship with him and meant to be the love of life, what does that say about him? Right? But I do go back in my mind to a situation where he said at the end, if my friends message me or they comment on my posts, I never reply to them. I just call someone if I want to speak to them. Well, to me, that still is a low standard for how he treats his friends. And it gives, I think it's, you know, for me, it creates a great sense of entitlement in him that he thinks that picking up the phone is just enough to satisfy the other person's needs in that friendship or connection. And that's all he's willing to give of himself to them, right? Which can be, to me, quite selfish. So, to me, that's a low standard he has for the way he treats other people. The way he treats other people is not a reflection of who I am, it's a reflection of who he is and his behavior and what he believes is acceptable to himself. He's not thinking of other people, he's just thinking of himself. When he showed me a message the day before I officially ended it with him, the day he pretty much ended it with me, but not officially, right? Is he showed me a message like from his friend a couple of years ago. A couple of messages it was where he said happy birthday to him, his friend, and his friend he said is now dead, and he never responded to his friend. Do you know what he said? That's life, right? But he has the ability to change his connection and relationship to other people by actually reaching out to people and messaging them back and commenting back. He has the opportunity to create connection. He doesn't have to just say, that's life. But if that is his attitude, and even with people he's known in the past, way before he met me, then I realize now that he has a low standard for the way he treats other people. And that's not my standard. My standard and his standards were completely different. And he could not keep up with my standards. He was not happy with my standards. Right? And trying to make me something I'm not, trying to make me speak slower when he told me he speeds videos up because he doesn't like slow speaking. It bores him. That's just one of the examples of the complete contradictions he kept giving me. Plus, it's trying to change me as a person, not loving me and caring about me for who I am. I didn't tell him to speak slower or speak with a different accent or, change, like, anything about the way he talks, right? I just know that that's not good, right? Because it's part of my bubbly personality. And the right guy will appreciate that. And when I look back at the qualities this guy had in the end, they were completely opposite to the qualities that I seek in a relationship, a healthy relationship. So by doing Matthew Hussey's Love Life course, it's really helped me to improve my confidence because I've been able to actually start seeing the amazing qualities I have that I felt was absolutely lost when I was with him in terms of him recognizing them and valuing them and caring about them, in the end. He wasn't like that in the beginning. But as Matthew so rightly puts it, most people are putting on a show if they're not being their true authentic self when they first meet. They're putting on a show, they're putting on their best behavior, which they can't keep up. There was discrepancies in the end between his actions and his words. And he was trying to even convince me that actions are what you're that words are what you're supposed to take notice of. I'm like, no, they've got to be actions and words got to match up, right? So you can see some of the manipulation of the way things were going, right? And trying to change part of my personality, which he doesn't like slow speaking people, but expecting me to slow my voice down. It's just not good. So I now understand that I have a lot of great qualities. And so by actually recognizing my own amazing qualities, I'm able to be more confident in myself because I value the qualities in others, which I actually have myself. And I innately have those within me. But because he didn't value those in the end, because he didn't appreciate them, because of the things he was critical about in me and the things he was saying about me, which was kind of trying to change things and turn things on me for his bad behavior, that made me feel, well, it disconnected me from myself. So I didn't even see my own good qualities so much in the end when I was split up with him. I actually officially ended it. And so I was disconnected from myself for a while. And, there are things I need to work on since that relationship. And by understanding those things that I need to work on and taking responsibility for that, it's empowering because I'm actually doing Matthew Hussey's Love Life Club. Matthew Hussey is well, this is his book. I've got a piece of kitchen roll in there as a bookmark. But this is his book, right? And after I got his book, saw a live event from this book, I then paid for a whole year, 12 months program to his Love Life Club. Now, the Love Life Club has coaching, loads of courses in there, Matthew AI, which is amazing 24-hour love coach. And, it's actually got a book immersion course, which is live, which I watched tonight. And the level of coaching, the level of training you get in the Love Life Club is absolutely exponentially the best investment I've ever made in myself this year, and one of the best investments I've ever made ever in my life. That the actual skills that you learn in Matthew Hussey, the world's top love coach, right? Millions of subscribers, very famous guy. The level of coaching you get in his Love Life Club is just phenomenal. His YouTube channel that's got over 3 million subscribers does not do his Love Life Club justice. In his Love Life Club, the level the high level of coaching and training you get is just out of this world. I've never known anything like it because they are practical skills he gives us, which is what I've needed for so long. I need to understand not just the theory of something, but the actual practical application. So there's loads of videos out on the internet, for example, about being a high value woman. Oh, you should be a high value woman. These traits of a high value woman. That's all very well, but it's just airy fairy stuff. When Matthew Hussey goes behind kind of the actual practicality of what it means to be a high value woman, which is valuing yourself, basically. That's what it means. He breaks down in practice, what that means, like the different stages of dating and how much energy and time and investment you should be spending on someone during those different stages of dating, like what that person deserves to have of you, why they deserve to have that much of you, and when they don't, and when you need to withdraw back. So instead of it looking like, instead of loads of videos on the internet looking like you're playing games, it's actually describing, explaining why it's self-protection and self-care and how to do things the right way. But it's practical application, which I've needed for so long. If I hadn't had this bad relationship and bad breakup in the end, it wasn't bad in the beginning, right? But in the end, it was, well, I say it wasn't bad in the beginning. He was lying in the beginning. So yes, that's a red flag. And I technically probably should have moved on then and not even bothered. Right. So, but I forgave him. So I chose to forgive him. Right. So, but if we look now, I've joined the Matthew Hussey's Love Life Club. I would never have done that had I not had this really bad breakup. Right. But by being proactive myself, by being actually consciously aware that I do have things I need to change about myself in order to try not to get into situations ever again with this type of guy, then I need to be changing what I'm doing. And it's empowering to be doing 12 months coaching and training with Matthew Hussey, the top love coach in the world, to be actually learn the skills of dating relationships, to master dating relationships a lot better, to understand my weaknesses more, to understand my difficulties more, but also to understand that the right guy will be understanding towards me and will still work with me with my anxiety, for example, and will be a better partner for me, and that there are better guys out there than my ex, right? And so all this is helping to grow my confidence, and self-esteem and self-worth is all shot back up, right? So I'm able to regulate my emotions again a lot more. I've not got this constant up and down of emotions all the time. I don't cry as much anymore. The majority of the time, I'm not crying. I'm able to separate my life now from the life I had with him. I'm able to remember who I am, but the version I'm improving myself on is amazing now. And I'm proud of the girl that I'm becoming. I'm proud of the fact that I've taken action and said, hey, I need help, right? I'm attracting these guys that aren't good for me. I hold my hands up that I'm partly responsible for that because I'm getting into a relationship with these type of guys that are treating me badly. And what do I need to do to try to improve myself, to change myself for the better, so that I'm healthier to be in a relationship with for another guy in the future, should I wish to be in a relationship? I'm also a healthier person for me. Like, what can I do? I put my hands up, because when we take responsibility and ownership for our part in the relationship, even if it was just the fact we allowed someone to treat us so badly and kept giving and giving to them, and they were just like not valuing us, then that's kind of something that we need to own, and we need to find out more what's going on in our mind and our circuitry and our wiring in order to keep putting ourselves in that position, right? A lot of people, though, when they do have these love feelings, they do end up getting into relationships quickly. It's not just me. It's very comforting when you go in the Love Life Club and you realize how many other women have been in similar positions to me, that you're not alone. That gives you great confidence. It's not something that's innately wrong with me and wrong with you as a person. It's that you've got faulty wiring in your mind and the way that you do things. And unless you learn from someone else who's got years of experience, more experience than you have, you'll keep making the same mistakes and you'll not even understand why you're behaving the way you're behaving in these scenarios all the time, right? So it helps develop a greater sense of self-awareness. With self-awareness comes more personal power and a feeling of empowerment within yourself, which again increases your confidence. So I would say to you, get dating and relationships books, at least one book, and start working through it. I'd highly recommend Matthew Hussey's Love Life, and I would recommend his club. I really would, because it's completely changing my life and it's completely helping my confidence grow. But now I'm able to like list down things, the traits that I like about myself, because I'd forgotten them. He kind of blurred my reality so much and made me feel so bad about myself with his interactions and some of the ways, and the way he deceived me and stuff, and the relationship ended, that it just like made me feel so destabilized and that I didn't know who I was anymore. But now I'm back to understanding that I'm kind and I'm caring and I'm compassionate and I'm generous with my time. I'm thoughtful, I'm loving, I'm giving. I see all the really good qualities in me. I'm reliable, I'm hardworking, I do what I say and I mean what I say, and I do and what I have congruency between what I say and what I do. I'm transparent, I'm very honest. I do directly state my needs, because when I done Matthew Hussey's Love Life Club coaching, one of the difficulties with anxious attachment, which I have a lot of the time, is we have a problem. Well, it's thought or it's said in the club that people with anxious attachment have problems directly expressing their needs. But I'm very good with that. In the last relationship with my ex, I was directly expressing my needs. The problem is, which is, does put your confidence down, is when I expressed my needs, I was met with basically like the silent treatment. We're not talking for just a little bit. We're not talking like, can I have 30 minutes out so I can calm down because now I'm feeling angry or feeling this? We're talking about like a couple of hours for over a couple of nights, 2 or 3 hours for over 2 nights, where they would just shut down, barely talk to me. This is not effective communication. The silent treatment is a red flag. It's not good. It's really bad. And I would not budge on the fact that I want a guy to be reliable and turn up to my video calls on time. Right? I offered to move the time to a later time, but they wouldn't have it. So that to me was very reasonable of me. They'd rather me wait for them and be, if they're late, that's okay. And it's not okay. It's eating into my time when I usually would be working. It's disrespecting me and my time. And I wouldn't lower that standard and boundary for them. And even in the end, they're like, oh, you should have changed on that. The time thing. It's like, I'm so glad I didn't. So in that relationship, I did actually have standards and boundaries. I wouldn't say I had probably enough of them, but that was one thing I did. And I did express my needs. And unfortunately, when I did actually express my needs, it was met with, maybe, I don't know if contempt is the right word to use, but it was met with, like hostility. It was met with like, I'm not going to speak to you now because I'm angry that you're angry with me, and I'm not going to talk to you when I'm angry. But if someone gets angry, you have a timeout, but you still need to come back to the situation. You can't just leave it and not speak to the person. That isn't effective communication. That's like stonewalling. So my point is that I realized that I did the best I could do at the time in that relationship, and the fact that I'm actually trying to improve myself, I doubt they're doing anything to improve themselves. But if they are, good for them, right? But if they're not, I hope they work on themselves for the next person. But probably they will just rush into another relationship, I'm guessing, because I think they need to be in a relationship, where I don't actually need to be in a relationship. And I'm actually loving my single life again. My single life at the moment far outweighs any happiness I had in that relationship, because I see the reality of it now. In the end, I see the truth. So instead of having rose tinted glasses and be thinking, oh, I love the guy and all these feelings I felt for him, I've taken all that love that I was giving him and I've turned it around and I've placed it on me, within me, back in me. And now I'm beaming again. All that love for him is now within me. Right? And so I have my personal power back. I have my love back. I have my confidence back. My self-worth is going up. My self-esteem has gone back up a lot. right? And that says a lot, doesn't it? Like, we're on the 7th week now, right? And so the 6th week I started feeling much better, because I've got a quote by Matthew over there: "Don't settle for a life reduced to telling the same old story. Go out and live a new one. Wait or create, it's up to us." And I know I look away from the camera then, but I needed to quote from that because it's really important. And that really hit me huge, that, we can just keep going round and round telling the same old story. It's up to us to actually create a new life for ourselves. It's interesting that I'm on the confidence course now with Matthew Hussey, but I've already started implementing some of the things he talks about in the videos before I even knew the video content that he's got, So when one of the things that I've been doing, well, there's a few things I've been doing to increase my confidence in terms of dating, right? So I am on a dating detox. Like, I'm not active on dating sites or on dating groups. When I say I'm not active, I'm not approaching anyone. I'm not actively going in these things. I run 3 asexual dating groups of my own, so I'm active. Well, getting more active again in them. But when I'm active, I'm being an admin in them. I'm not going around saying blah, 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 I'm ready for a relationship, because I'm not ready for a relationship now. I'm having a time out, right? And so I'm purposely detoxing, and I've got a lot better now with that, because I'm high off being single. So the dopamine I'm getting internally from myself each day now, I'm being a lot more high off being single, because I see so much value now in being single again. My anxiety has reduced a lot. With my physical health, I'm still finding things difficult because I've got, damaged back and stuff. So that is hard, and that still upsets me somewhat, right? But in terms of the rest of my life, I'm learning through Matthew's courses. I'm doing things, like learning stuff for the experts bureau that I'm in. I'm doing some stuff for that I have to finish. I'm trying to get my health better as much as possible. I'm trying to like change my environment somewhat in my home. I've got some stuff for that. Like, I got a pole and a new curtain today that hopefully my best friend's going to help me put on Friday in my bedroom. Hopefully I'm going to get rid of an old case, so that's going to start looking even better in here for me. Not this side, the other side that you can't see. There's a towel against the window at the moment when I get over the blind. So yeah. So, like, just by moving my life forward, progressing my life, pushing it forward, making plans without him in it, making plans for myself and having some goals for myself, and actively educating myself to upskill myself to the next level. That's how I'm gaining confidence. Writing out qualities that I've got that I look for in a partner, a healthy relationship, which would usually mirror the qualities you'd have, because the good qualities you have, you want to see in someone else. So I'm understanding through Matthew's courses and his book that the traits of a healthy relationship are someone who's kind and caring and honest and loyal, who you can have difficult conversations with, who make you feel safe and seen and heard and validated and understood. Someone who's very consistent in their behavior and their words and behavior matches. Someone who's persistent, someone who has consistency in their communication, someone who has open communication, all these types of things, who 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 understands you, who listens to you, and who makes you feel seen and heard. These are the qualities of a healthy relationship, a good person. But often when we get attracted to someone, we look at their other qualities, like, oh, how good looking they are, maybe what a nice smile they have, how they make us feel in that moment, as in, oh, I feel so excited, I'm so attracted to this person. And, maybe they pay us some attention. Maybe it's more than we're used to at that time. So these type of things are not ones you can build a healthy relationship on. They're more superficial. They're more looks and excitement based. Whereas if we actually look at the qualities of a person that makes a healthy long-term relationship, they're all like the kind and caringness, the loving, the loyalty, which I do have those traits, the generosity, the commitment, the time, energy, and effort you need to put in. I have these qualities. So by actually seeing good qualities in yourself and being able to list off a reel of good qualities of yourself, you can tell that there are good people in the world because you're a good person, despite what your ex may have gaslighted you into thinking otherwise, right? You're a good quality person. So therefore, there must be other people out there that are also good quality. So if you've had poor dates and had poor relationships, there must still be some people out in the world that are good. Because if you have good traits, then you know that it's possible for other people to have good traits. That some other people will have them. If you're 100% honest, then you'll know there's other people out there that are 100% honest. If you don't deceive, you'll know there's other people out there that don't deceive. And we have to remember that just because we've had bad relationships doesn't mean to say that we're a bad person. Their behavior, bad behavior, is not a reflection of our actual worth. It may be a sign that we've got lower self-worth than we thought we had, which is what we need to work on. And so this is the lesson that we learn, is that, oh, maybe I have got some self-worth issues, or when I'm in certain scenarios, I do. And at the moment, because I see all the beauty of my single life again, how much calmer and relaxed I am. When I was at the end of that relationship, I was so anxiety-induced, so stressed. I was getting a stress rash up my neck, and it was horrible, right? When I think of that time and like the reality of the situation, I'm like, my God, he's done me a favor with his bad behavior. He's made it easier actually for me to understand why the relationship would have been impossible to maintain and sustain, why he was the wrong guy for me, why he was never ever going to be the right guy for me in the end, despite a lot of better behaviors he displayed at the beginning. Right? He was never going to be that right guy for me. He isn't the right guy for me. And so I'm able to detach more from him now and recognize that. I'm able to think, okay, you go your separate way, I go my separate way. I'm okay with that. I'm good. I'm actually much stronger as a single person, right? Because I don't have the level of anxiety I had before. It's really low now. I don't have to worry about someone else anymore. I don't have to think about someone else but me. I can just focus on doing all the things I love, and I've been doing lots more things I love. I've been doing positive affirmations every morning, Bob Baker's affirmation channel, so that's helped increase my confidence because it's constantly pumping stuff in my brain every morning saying, I'm worthy, I'm lovable, I'm valuable, I'm thankful, I'm grateful, I'm amazing. All this type of stuff, and this reprograms your mind. When you wake up, usually you're in the alpha state for the first 10 minutes, I believe, from what I've been told in the things I listen to, the research I do. And so the first 10 minutes when you wake up, instead of looking at your phone, what you should be doing is listening to positive affirmations. And this is like downloads into your brain, positive things you tell yourself, so that your brain rewires itself to understand you're worthy, you have good qualities, you're valuable in this life. It puts you on a much more higher vibrational state so that you're able to elevate your day and get into a much better state. But you've got to listen to these affirmations over again every morning. I usually do it every night as well, because when you're about to go into the deep sleep or go into a sleep, this is when your brain is more easily shaped as well and molded. So it's why it's important not to watch like the news with death and murder and rape on it. It's important to put positive affirmations in your mind instead, so that this sinks into your subconscious, so you automatically raise your vibration, become a more confident, happier person, and you're not focused on stuff that makes you anxiety induced. So this is really helping to grow confidence. One of the things I've done as well and been doing is I've been watching videos with dance videos, music videos I loved before I was with my ex, and that have got foreign guys in that I do find attractive. So that really helps. And the more I see that other guys are attractive, the less I think about my ex being attractive, if you know what I mean. And also in real life, in the streets, I'm now smiling at guys more. Younger foreign guys, I'm still attracted to young foreign guys, particularly Indian. But just because I've had some bad experiences with some Indian guys, particularly last ex, it doesn't mean to say all Indian guys are like that. And I do tend to meet, well, I have met, the last couple of the Indian guy that was my ex and the guy I was attracted to last year, one of the guys I was attracted to last year, both of them weren't so traditional Indian guys. So that does mean there are other guys out there, possibly at least one for me, that aren't traditionally wired like other Indian guys would usually be. They do more go their own way and do their own thing, which is important to note because it means that it's possible for me to meet a guy who's different to his own culture, who does his own thing. At the moment, the guys I've met in that way have not been good though. Their mind has got some faulty thinking. The way they are is not very good towards women. Well, towards me, I should say. Who knows? They might be better with other women. So I have to bear that in mind. But it does mean there are guys out there who are Indian that not so traditional that do choose the person they want to be with more. You know what I mean? And they're not so fixated on traditional Indian culture life, which I think is very good. And also, obviously, there are Indian guys who are born in the UK who are more westernized. So I do still get attracted to younger foreign guys, but I have to understand the practicalities and the implication of that. When it means that a lot of guys in that age don't know what they want, a lot of them might not be displaying characteristic traits of a good guy because they might not have understood how to grow their better qualities yet and stuff like this. But also, besides smiling at guys in the street, I've also been getting into like a conversation with an Indian guy. So in my city on Monday, I went into Poundland, which is a shop. Not everything's a pound anymore though. And I saw this guy, he was working there, and I couldn't find an item. So I walked up to him and I asked him about the item I was looking for. And he said, "Oh, yeah, it's up there." And I said, "Oh, you've got a nice accent. Is it an Indian accent?" And he said, "Yeah." I said, "Oh, I go to Bollywood parties. That's why, like, I asked." And he's like, "Oh." And he said, "Oh, do they have them, like, in Exeter, like the uni?" And I said, "Actually, they do. The Indian Society and Asian Society do, and I go to them sometimes." And he's like, "Oh, so you study at the uni?" Which was amazing because I, like the fact he thought I was a uni student and my birth certificate age is probably in its 20s. So I thought, yay, this is so cool. And so he was clean shaven, short dark hair. And I felt like really warm when he was talking to me. He seemed like a really down to earth guy, not like a guy who's like really hard exterior and oh, I'm sexually attracted to you type of guy. A guy who's just genuinely wanting a nice warm conversation, which is the type of guy I prefer these days in terms of like a healthy guy. So anyway, I was talking and I said, no, I'm not actually studying at the uni, but I had an Asian friend rather than an Indian friend last year. And I started going to the Bollywood parties. Actually, it was the year before, I think. I said it was last year. Or was it last year? Oh yeah, it was last year. Um, yeah, and so I said that uh I knew the previous year as well, but it was last year was the last time I knew them. And we're not friends anymore. But anyway, she's moved back home. So my point was is I said to this guy that I do, that I do go to these parties. I said, but the last one I couldn't go to because I wasn't very well. I said they haven't done as many this year as they used to. And anyway, we had to end the conversation because he was busy working. And I just said, I said to him that I did say to him though that there was a couple of clubs in London that do Bollywood nights, which I'd love to like go to the clubs there, but solo entry isn't allowed. So I can't go up there because I'm on my own. And I felt so much like I wished he'd offer. He can't because he's working. He doesn't know me. And I must not rush these things, but a little part of me is like, oh, it's a shame that he can't go with me. But it'd be good if I could go with some Indian guy from my city to London or meet up with someone in London that I knew to go to these clubs because literally solo entry isn't allowed. Because I'm in London in July at the moment. I've got bad back, so I can't do dancing like that anyway. But I've been looking at the clubs, and the two clubs that I'd love to go to one of them, both of them don't allow solo entry. So it's no go because I'm single and on my own. I thought it's in Disneyland Paris, solo riders get priority access. In clubs in London, Bollywood event clubs, Solo entry's not even allowed. I'm like, "What's going on, people?" So, yeah, if I wanted to go to a club in London, to a Bollywood party, I have to go with someone. I'm like, "Why? Why can't I go as a single person? The single solo artist of life is much better." So that is disappointing. So there are some disadvantages to being single in that case. So anyway, I had to end the conversation with this guy. I think I might have said it's nice to talk to you, this guy in Poundland, but that interaction was really good. Now, why is that good? Because it's good for growing my confidence back again. Because I'm growing my confidence in talking to younger Indian guys of the look I like again. And this guy was nice and warm. He wasn't looking sexy at me. He wasn't eyeing me up. He was just having a really friendly conversation that was nice. You know, it was warm. It was, I'm really happy to just chat to you, friendly type of conversation. And that's what you need after you've had like a relationship disaster or dating disasters, like being on dating sites, just like trying to talk to some guys that are low quality guys. That's why I don't really want to go actively back on dating sites ever again at the moment. That's the way I feel because there's such low quality guys off there. I mean, I met my ex on Facebook dating and him along with the other four guys I've dated in person from Facebook dating, and all of them were liars. All of them. It's just low quality guys a lot of the time on dating apps. That's what I found. And I'm like, so what that means is now I have to do different things. So now I have to go out and socialize more. I have to go to different events and meet different guys and meet different people and expand my activity circle, my social circle. So this is something I'm doing to increase my confidence, doing different things. This is highly encouraged through Matthew Hussey's Love Life Club. And so this, like tomorrow, tonight now, because it's Thursday, I'm going to a Tech Extra event. And next week I've got one. This is like late night tomorrow. So actually, I should be back to do a live stream. I think it's just 2 hours long from 7:30 till 9:30 or from 7 till 9. But if for some reason I'm not live streaming tomorrow because I'm still out. But anyway, I'm going to a tech event tomorrow. And then next week, I'm getting up really early to do their morning thing at 8:30 till 10:30. So why am I doing this? Because I do have an interest in tech. I can build my own websites and do, just I don't code. And also, it means that I can meet different type of guys, more intellectual guys for a start. It means that I can be around different types of guys. And, I might have more in common with them. And they're going to be more disciplined, likely, I would have thought. And they're on the same tech wavelength as me. I found tech very attractive. Guys who speak tech and talk tech very attractive. So, again, this is increasing my social circles and it's helping to get confidence back, with meeting different guys and stuff. There was actually another guy in Poundland who was on the tills. I think he was Indian as well. And I asked him if he picked my basket up for me to put it on the till. Whilst thinking, oh, he's nice, but he wasn't clean shaven, so he's not as good looking. But I could tell he works out of the gym. And I said to him, "Oh, can you pick my basket up? You look a lot stronger than I am." So it's a really good tip I've got for you. Like if you want to praise a guy, you can ask him to do something for you like that, even in a shop assistant, and just give him a compliment. Like you look a lot stronger than me. That really strokes a guy's ego and makes him feel like, oh, I'm a man. I'm good at providing. Providing the basket lift. So it's kind of a little bit flirtatious, I guess. A little bit over friendly or friendly. But when you're trying to get your confidence back to do with like dating, if you like, you need, these little flirtatious moments or friendly moments, sharing a little moment with a guy if you're someone who's into guys, this can help get your confidence back in terms of dating again. Right. Even though you're not going around going, I'm dating, you're kind of getting your confidence back just by like smiling at me, like for example, with me smiling at guys in the street, looking at them smiling, they smile back is really good. Noticing good looking guys is really good. Noticing them online, but noticing them in person, talking to guys again. Something that I feel I've still got is the knack for talking to younger foreign guys. That's not really gone away. I've just gone back to be able to be confident doing that now because I remember who I am. I remember my worth more, my value more. I remember how good looking I am. Like, I think I'm good looking. I don't care. I'm not saying this because to get people to think, oh, blah, blah, blah. Whether you think I'm good looking or not, it doesn't matter. But I have confidence in my looks. And my ex didn't actually take that away from me, which I'm so glad about. I'm so glad that I've done so much work on myself over the years that actually I'm still very confident in my looks. I'm very confident in my body shape, which is voluptuous. I'm very confident in the way I look with my face and my hair. And now I don't have that all that stress and anxiety that I had when I was at the end of the relationship with him. I believe I look younger again. I've noticed that when I get stressed more, I look a little older. When I get when I get less stressed and less anxiety induced, my face goes younger again. So, and my hair looks shinier because I'm not stressed. I just look so pretty. I like my looks. I'm saying this about myself because it's a self-confidence thing. Like, you know what I mean? Not to compete with anyone, to just be comfortable and confident with myself. I think this is a really important practice for you to get into if you want to increase your confidence, is to look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm good looking. Is to look at yourself, your face, and say, wow, look at your hair. Isn't it beautiful? Wow, look at your lips. Look at your cheeks. Look at your nose. Look at your beautiful face. And talk positively to yourself like this. Go up the high street like I do. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, I tell myself I'm sexy, even though I'm asexual. Right, and I'm saying this to myself, I'm not saying it out loud, but I make myself smile when I do. I must look so naughty sometimes because 'cause I'm going up the high street going in my head going, "Oh, you're so sexy, Sandra," and I've got this smile on my face. I must be like, "What the hell is she eating for breakfast?" Right? And "Oh, you're so sexy, Sandra, you're so hot. Oh, I love the way you look. I love your voluptuous figure. Mm." I'm going to saying this stuff to myself as I'm going up the street in public to myself though. And like I'm not speaking out loud. I'm saying it in my head, right? But it does help increase my confidence. And I want to share this with you because I want you to be able to do the same thing. I want you to be able to go up the street going, yeah, I'm good looking for me. I'm so good looking. I'm amazing. I'm gorgeous for me. I'm so hot for me. I'm so beautiful for me. I love my own body. I love my own skin. It's sexy, it's hot, it's gorgeous, and I'm feeling great. And if you don't like those words because you're asexual, you're sex repulsed, and you hate those type of words, just say, look how pretty I look. Look how cute I look. Just look how I look. Just look how pretty I am. Just look at my beautiful smile. Just look at my soft little cheekies. Just look at that. Just look at my cute button nose. Just look at my little earlobes. Just look at my little cute eyebrows. Just look at my little cute teeth that are crooked and unique. Just look at my little hair. Whee! Just look at myself. Look at the things you're comfortable at looking at until you can get comfortable with all aspects of your body and you. It's really important that we have positive self-talk and that we do talk up our positive characteristic traits. And we keep telling ourselves this. If you're on your own a lot, which I am on my own a lot, I found it very difficult when I first came out of that relationship to regulate my own emotions, to be very stable again on my own, because it took me quite a while to just get my self-confidence and self-esteem back. And it took me a while to just be happy being in my own home again because he'd been in this home a lot. But because I've been making little changes, which again increases your confidence. If you change your home, even if you just move some objects around, any little things you can change just make the world of difference because it feels like your own home again. It feels like you're reclaiming your own space, which again gives you confidence in your own space. I mentioned on a previous video, go and reclaim back the places that you were with this person. If you're in a relationship or even a dating scenario that didn't go well, go and create some new memories in that place. It'll be hard at first, but if you go with someone else, like a friend, or you go to an event in the area, or you just go and enjoy a different movie, you'll start forgetting about you were with them and you'll plant fresh memories either with another person or with yourself in that scenario. And self-dating is so important. This again has helped increase my confidence. So every Sunday now, I have a practice of making sure I have self-date Sunday. I used to do that before I got into a relationship, but it was a bit more sporadic. Now I'm like saying, okay, Sandra, it's Sunday. Sunday is coming up. It's not Sunday today, by the way, but when Sunday is coming up, I'm like on the case of what movie am I going to see? I'm out of here. I'm going to the cinema. I'm getting up early. I'm showing up for myself. I'm doing something that I love that makes me feel good. Even if I'm tired, even if I only had 4 hours sleep, even if I'm feeling like not too well, even if my back's in pain, I have a date with myself. I show up for myself. I make promises to myself like that and I keep them. This builds trust with yourself again, which increases your confidence. You have to make decisions and stick with your decisions and understand that whatever the outcome is, you have faith and trust in yourself that you are going to follow through on that decision and put it into action. And there are no failures in life, just lessons we can learn from. I don't look at the last relationship and harp on about it, oh, it's a failure or anything like that, because I actually believe I was meant to be in that relationship spiritually. I believe I was meant to go through hell after coming out of the relationship because I was meant to be in Matthew Hussey's Love Life Club, which I didn't know at the time, to learn the skills and what it actually takes to be in a healthy relationship, to improve myself and to improve a lot of my skills. I mean, the growth I'm going to be having, and I've already had in a short space of time in that club, the growth I'm going to be having over the 12 months is just going to be phenomenal. I am learning skills in that club that I never, ever even imagined existed. It's almost like his channel is just like a shell of how intelligent that guy is and how much knowledge and wisdom he has and practical steps. I love how practical Matthew Hussey's Love Life Club is, because it's all very well knowing the theory of stuff, but if you don't know the practical steps of how you do something, and it's just a kind of airy fairy thing, it's harder for you to grip it, get to terms with it, and actually implement it, right? Because it's just it's not tangible. Whereas if you've got something tangible, you can work with it more. You can be like, hang on a minute, if I do this action, then this is what's going to happen. If I do all these actions, this is going to happen. If I don't want this to happen, then I've got to take a different action or not do all those actions at once. I'm going to hold back for a bit. So, I mean, obviously, I haven't put all this into practice yet because I'm at the moment, I don't want a relationship again. I don't want to be doing dating again. All that time that I spent dating, I can now spend with myself and getting my life back on track. And my health is the most important thing, besides learning all these love life skills and dating relationship skills. So I've still got the relationship aspect a part of my life, but I'm not actually looking to get into a relationship because I need to improve myself. I need to heal still. I need to be able to still build my confidence up even more, my self-esteem, my self-worth up even more. And also I need to be able to understand anxiety a lot more in terms of a relationship. Like, it's not just me that has anxiety. There's other people that have anxiety. And also Matthew Hussey admits that he has an anxious attachment style, which is really interesting. So I'm learning from someone who actually has the same attachment style as me. And for that, to me, it's much more beneficial because I'm learning from someone who's more like me. And I think in order to increase your confidence, it's better to be around like-minded people and people who are similar or the same as you, because then you can relate to each other and it validates your sense of self-worth and identity and experience. And it helps you to grow as a person because you're not having information and advice from someone who just doesn't get you, doesn't understand you because they're not like you. You're getting it from someone who's similar to you, who's got a similar mindset, similar thoughts and emotions and reactions and cognitive function, if you like, in terms of the anxiety. You're seeing someone who's trod the path before you, already having the attachment style that you've got, so that you're more able easily to learn from their mistakes, if you like, learn from their failures, learn from their lessons, to be able to navigate this life better in terms of dating relationships. So I strongly urge you to encourage you to find someone who's done that. Obviously, I have, even though I'm at the stage where I'm at now, which I hold my hands up to, I'm in a learning stage again, a much deeper learning stage at the moment. I have got still a lot of knowledge that I've shared with you on this channel. I've got 10 years online dating experience. And obviously I've been helping asexuals on this channel since 2015. So it's 9 years helping asexuals and 10 years online dating experience. The online dating experience is still a good thing I've got, because in the Love Life Club, there was someone who wrote about a guy and she wasn't sure about him. And I was able to see that he was not a good guy and list exactly every reason why this guy was not good for her. And for me, it was easy to see it because I'm so used to online dating, and particularly she was Indian and this guy was Indian. And I said, I've got 10 years online dating experience, particularly talking to Indian guys because I'm most attracted to Indian guys. So it was easy for me to advise her because I saw the red flags in him straight away with everything, just the way she described the scenario. I could see it all. And she was really happy with the advice I gave her. And she said she's asked a mum and a friend, and they say pretty much the same or a similar sort of thing to what I said. So again, I'm growing confidence by helping someone else. I'm growing back in confidence in myself that I do give good advice, that I do understand what I'm talking about. Unfortunately, in the last relationship, I did let the romance take over me. I did let the hyper romanticism take over me. I did ignore red flags. I did get into a relationship quickly. That's on me. But by sharing my experiences on this channel, I'm still helping you. And by sharing how I'm getting over this, I'm helping you. And by being absolutely honest, that I take responsibility for the fact I ignored red flags. I ignored my own advice. There's even a video on this channel before I got into that relationship that says, I think it's the pros and cons of not taking your own advice or something like that, or should you not take your own advice or something similar to that. So I admit I wasn't taking my own advice. Like, one of the things I said in the guy's dating profile, it said looking for a serious relationship or casual relationship. And I usually say, don't go and even talk to this type of guy because it means they're contradicting themselves. And what showed up in the relationship? Contradictions by him. So if I'd taken my own advice at the beginning and actually listened to it and not approached him, I would never have been in that relationship. I would never have the heartache and pain I've had, but I would also now not be in Matthew Hussey's Love Life Club. And I might still have had heartache and pain with another guy because there's things that I need to learn to improve upon myself. And unless you're given a kick up the ass a lot with the most horrendous pain ever from a heartbreak and heartache and pain, you don't actually change yourself enough or change yourself at all. And so you need something to happen. So if it wasn't him, it would probably be some other guy in the future eventually. But because it was so painful actually with him, it was the most pain I've experienced for many years of my life, then I'm able to now see that I need to change. And I'm able to take such big, bold action as to join Matthew Hussey's Love Life Club, pay for a whole year up front to say, hey, I've had enough. I don't want this pain anymore. It's too horrendous. I disassociated from myself. I didn't really know who I was anymore. I was crying all the time. The hell is going on? I need some help. So in our life, we've got to have the confidence to raise our hands sometimes and say, I need some help. This is not a weak thing. This is a strong thing. This is self-awareness. The more we become aware of ourselves, the stronger we become in ourselves, the more resistant we become from outside pains and struggles, the more stronger we get. When we have pain in our life, we actually overcome, we become stronger and more confident ourselves. One of the things that's important to do is look back at times when you've overcome difficulties before in your life, so you can get through difficult times and difficult things and situations, so you know that you can thrive again eventually. But you've got to understand that you have to weather the storm a lot before you can come through to the cloud that has the silver lining and jump on that silver lining. And so we have to understand that our growth comes from pain. That if we don't have pain in life, we don't actually grow. That's the sad thing, but it's true. You don't grow by having no pain. And also you do have to reflect on yourself. You can't just blame the other person for everything. You can't not acknowledge that you still have work to do on yourself. And by taking responsibility for that and actually taking action to improve upon that, It's empowering. It grows your confidence because you're like, hang on a minute. I've noticed something isn't right. Something within me is going wrong. And I need to try and fix this. I'm going to be a work in progress. I'm never going to be perfect. I'm always going to have strengths and more weaknesses. But the action that I can take, the self-awareness that I can grow, the better I can become, the healthier I can become within myself, the better my life will be and the better the lives will be of the people I impact and have around me and come into contact with. And this is an extraordinary good thing. In fact, there are people in the world that will take action. People are scared to take action because you know what? When we face our fears head on and take the action is when we do become a version of ourselves that we love and respect and care about even more. So this grows confidence again because it increases our self-worth, it increases our self-esteem because we're invested in ourselves. We believe that we can actually become a better version of ourselves. We have a greater sense of self-awareness. With self-awareness comes personal power. With personal power, our confidence becomes stronger in ourselves. And so we must make sure that we're growing our personal power as much as possible by empowering ourselves to know it's okay not to be perfect. It's okay to F up. It's okay if we didn't do everything right. It's okay to be us, but to know it's not okay to just not do anything about things if we realize that we need to be changing ourselves and our lives to progress more. And this change can just be simple incremental steps like, okay, I had red flags in the beginning and I ignored them. I chose to forgive the person. What could I do next time? Well, if you've got red flags like the person's lying to you, you can go back to what you're actually doing in the first place, Sandra, which was more healthier for you, which is not having any guy stay in your life who's lying to you. It's just a simple, don't accept liars, moving on, see you. You know, that's it, like you were doing before, right? There's no need to have a liar in your life. There's no need to be always trying to convince you that lying is okay in certain circumstances. It's not. Not a healthy person doesn't think that way. A healthy person doesn't act that way. So we need to recognize sometimes we just doubt ourselves and we don't listen to our own advice. And so we need to become stronger in our conviction of listening to our own advice. And this can stem from childhood where you were giving out maybe your own opinion, your own advice, your own help to someone, and all you got was knocked down or wasn't listened to, or made to feel that your opinion or decisions or advice didn't matter. This can come from previous like relationships as well. And so again, this is a learning curve. So if we look at things like dating disasters and stuff like this, we can use them as a learning curve to actually become stronger in ourselves, to grow our confidence back, to grow our self-esteem back, especially when we recognize that that person's bad behavior is not a reflection of our own self-worth. This is what I said in the beginning of this video. Like the low standards for the way that person treated me and treats some of their friends or all of their friends when they don't respond to their messages, don't respond to their comments, and they think that's okay. That's a low standard for the way they treat their friends. In person, might be a different story, right? But if you don't think those standards are high, you think they're low, then that's important because your standards are higher and they're not the same standards, which means that you and that person don't fit together anyway, which means that person was never really going to be your forever person, even if you thought at the beginning they were. And when you start to separate yourself and start to see the reality of the situation, that yes, at one point you thought they were your person for life, but in reality they're not. That person had completely different values to me. He valued fighting, he valued lying, he valued deception. He valued not being reliable for video calls. He valued like not being structured in his life outside of his work. Those are completely different things to what I value. Completely different things, the opposite to me, right? That's not what I value. I value honesty, kindness, respect, punctuality, reliability, good timekeeping, structure, good communication skills, open communication, all this type of thing. Completely opposite people in the end. That's the reality of the situation. And so when we look at the cold, hard light of truth, we can understand that person wasn't our forever person, which theoretically means that our person is still out there, which can give us confidence that it is possible. Doesn't mean to say we're going after that, but it's possible that we could still meet our actual forever person in the future. So it gives you a sense of renewed optimism for the future as well. That hang on a minute, this person I thought was my person was not my person. My actual person wouldn't treat me that way. And like Matthew says, your actual person will choose you back. They will choose you and they will choose you back. A relationship is two-way, which means time, energy, and effort needs to be put in equally from both sides, right? And the person that you choose, who chooses you back, is your person, not someone in the end who doesn't choose you. And so we must remember this. And so I feel a lot more calmer in myself. I feel a lot more settled now, knowing that that person wasn't my forever person, that I made a mistake thinking they were. But at the beginning, they did give me red flags because they did lie. So I hold my hands up to ignoring that. Well, I didn't ignore it. I told him that he was lying, but he logicked it out, and I forgave him. So yeah, logicked it out. Logicked lying out. Oh my God. Anyway, it wasn't good, but I did accept that, so that was my fault. But other characteristics, so he displayed some lovely characteristics at the beginning, but clearly that's not who he actually was, because he went from being empathetic at the beginning, understanding, to unempathetic, not really caring. Went from super into me, super attentive, to being like really into me 1 minute and disinterested in me the next. Do you know what I mean? This is just, but it doesn't matter now because it's in the past. It matters to learn from it, right? But that person will move on. They might move to Canada, or they might just get some other girl in the UK, get a visa from them, or whatever they want to do. They didn't get that out of me, but whatever they want to do is their business now, right? I hope they treat the next person better, but unless they change what they're doing and realize that in order to have inner peace and relationship, they need to actually be creating inner peace within the relationship they're in order to get that within themselves in a relationship. Unless they realize that and don't and understand that they are part of the problem that causes unpeace, if you like, and they sort out, nothing's really going to change in that respect. They'll just go to another relationship and have a similar sort of problem. But I hope they're working on themselves like I'm working on myself to improve myself for a potential future partner, and also just for myself to be a better human being and to be a better person. I think when you acknowledge yourself having difficulties and problems and things that you still need to understand and know and improve yourself on, I think we acknowledge that. It's great. Awareness is brilliant. When you actually take the action, that's empowering. When I'm in Matthew Hussey's Love Life Club, I've already done the relationship break up video, which is all about moving on. Well, it's not video, it's a series of videos, it's a course. And then I'm doing the confidence course at the moment. There's so many other courses to go through. I'm learning so much in that club by understanding other women's experiences as well, that I'm not alone. It's very empowering, very confidence boosting. There are high quality women in Matthew's Love Life Club, high quality women, people who have really like professional, high powered careers, people who are just genuinely kind, caring women in that group, people who are very honest and open. There's guys as well in the group. There's not just women. There's guys that want to improve themselves. They want to be better guys for a relationship. And I'm so glad to see guys. And then again, that gives me confidence. There are good guys out there. There are guys who want to change their own behavior. There are guys that want to be a better human being, a better, healthier person to be in a relationship with. So when I know for a fact there are guys that are active in chat, for example, in the coaching, in Matthew's coaching streams, there are guys that are active in posts, it makes my heart leap in a good way. I think, that gives me hope. There's guys that genuinely want to work on themselves. that are in Matthew's clubs, holding their hands up, saying, I want to be a better human being. I want to be a better partner to someone in the future. I want to improve myself. So I know there are guys that are good guys. There's one guy who has got really good characteristic traits at the moment that's in the club. I can't say much about why he's in the club, but obviously to do with relationships and dating, particularly relationships. So, but he's there to, help his situation, help deal with heartbreak, basically. That's pretty much all I can say on this scenario, but because it's confidential, so by seeing there's guys there that want to improve themselves, that want to be better in a relationship, this is just amazing, because then and can see there's definitely guys out there that are much healthier and much better guys. And this can give you a renewed sense of confidence that you can find a better person for you. You can find a guy who is working on themselves, who has got better characteristic traits, which means you don't have to put up with rubbish. Anyway, I hope you found this video useful, helpful, insightful. Please pop a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an episode. If you want to know more about asexuality, grab Asexual Perspectives book. Fibromyalgia Self-Help Handbook is my superhero autobiographical book. And Diary Confessions is a #1 hot new release on Amazon.com and Amazon.co.uk, and a bestseller last month. So grow and grab all them. Diary Confessions of a Hyperromantic Asexual will help you to ace your life, including dating relationships. And so go and grab these books now on Amazon. I'll see you soon next video live stream. Lots of love. Take care. If you've got any comments, queries, questions, post them down below. And like I said, thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. Lots of love. Take care. And I'll see you soon on the next video live stream. Bye-bye.